Hey guys, this is Sam, and today I want to show you some more changes inside of iOS 11 Beta 4. After I made my first video, a lot more was discovered, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So first up, there are a lot more icon changes than I initially reported on. Because some of these are so subtle, I only noticed that contacts, notes, and reminders looked a little bit different. And a lot of people were saying, well, isn't the reminders icon just the same but flipped? And it turns out that that is actually the case. So in iOS 11, there is support for right-to-left language app icons, because in English we read from left to right, but in a lot of other languages, people read from right to left. So if you were using a right to left language on your device, you would see a reminders icon that looks like it does now. It looks like somebody just mixed that up, and it will probably return to the colorful dots on the left in a future iOS update. But in addition to contacts, notes, and reminders, there are so many other icons that changed. News, compass, phone, weather, Safari, FaceTime, phone, messages, mail, iBooks, iTunes Store, and Home are all a little bit different than they were before. Some of these are very hard to see. If you look at them with the naked eye just on the home screen without a comparison, you won't really notice a difference. But if you do a screenshot to screenshot comparison, you will notice that some of these icons do look a little bit different. None of these are really major changes. I think that's why so many people, including myself, glanced over it in the first place, because at first look, these are the same icons, but if you do a little bit of a closer analysis, some of these have changed and they look a little bit different. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on all of these icons being updated. I said in the previous video that I had hoped that more icons would be changed, but it looks like Apple is keeping most of these icons the way that they are, but adding subtle improvements in beta releases. It's very interesting, and it's a change that I definitely wanted to highlight. Now with that being said, the contacts icon did get the biggest change, and that logo has been placed everywhere in iOS. So whether you're on a phone call and you need to add someone to the call through the contacts button, that icon has been updated, or if you're in the phone app and in the middle of the phone tab, you can see that that contacts icon has also been updated to reflect the new contacts icon. Another small change in iOS 11 Beta 4 happened right in the status bar, and I did not catch this one either. The Wi-Fi icon is slightly bolder than it was in previous releases. If you look at this comparison, once again, with the naked eye, you can't really tell the difference, but if you do compare it, the top lines of the Wi-Fi icon are bolder and fuller than they were in previous releases. Moving on, if we head over to the iTunes Store down at the bottom of the screen, you can notice that the tab icons have been updated to feature the more bold design language present elsewhere in iOS 11. I'm glad to see that slowly but surely Apple is updating all of the tab icons across the board, just because back with iOS 7, I remember when that huge design update came out, so many small things slipped through the cracks and just remained unupdated for an extremely long amount of time. Apple seems to be meticulously updating these tab icons just so they look consistent between all the apps on iOS. In the Settings app in iOS 11 Beta 4, the Accounts and Passwords icon has been updated. Previously, the key was in a slightly different position. If you head over to Settings, General, and About, wherever it says Capacity, previously it said your total device storage and included how much space iOS took up. So if you had a 128GB iPhone, it might say something like 120GB or 122GB, something less than the actual amount of storage that you originally paid for. So while iOS still takes up space on your iPhone, in iOS 11 Beta 4, capacity now refers to the total maximum storage space on your device. Also in the Settings app, if we head over to the Music Preference panel and scroll down, there's a new option titled Use Listening History. It says that music played on this iPhone will be seen by your followers on Apple Music and influence the recommendations you get in the For You section of the Music app. If you don't want Apple to track you, or you don't want the music you play to be shared with followers that follow you on Apple Music, then you can disable the setting right here. One more option in the Settings app that I want to talk about is the Smart Invert or Dark Mode option. In previous versions of iOS 11, it was pretty spotty, and in iOS 11 Beta 4, some users have reported that it feels better, but to me it feels roughly the same, although my lock screen issue of showing black text or the wrong color background has been connected. So it looks like Apple is still actively working on this feature, but some stock apps still look terrible. In Spotlight Search, there are new icons added for web, app store, and map searches over on the right side of the screen. This adds a little bit more color and flavor to Spotlight Search than just plain text. And there are two other changes that happen in Control Center, one of which is only on the iPad, and one that has to do with the Timer Control Center option. If you actually set a timer, you get this really neat animation where the Timer Control Center toggle actively spins as long as the timer is happening. Now it doesn't accurately reflect the time remaining on the timer, but it still looks pretty cool. And on the iPad, the silence toggle animation got a rework for its animation that looks a lot better and much more full of life. Anyway guys, that is going to wrap up this video on more changes in iOS 11 Beta 4. If you enjoyed it, as always, it would really help me out if you hit that like button down below. And of course, hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I've been Sam, I hope all of you are doing great, and I will talk to you later.